Tinder is the world's most popular app for meeting people. It's as easy as match, chat, date. Tinder is super fun and easy. Use the swipe right feature to like someone and the swipe left feature to pass someone. 40% of Americans have used an online dating service. Worldwide, 57 million people have chosen Tinder as their dating service. Tinder has it down to a science. They have created algorithms that account for many factors, primarily location and age preferences. Tinder's core demographic are 18 to 24-year-olds, meaning college students. 40% of US college students say Tinder is for hookups. So why should we care? When you create a Tinder account, this is what shows up. Be yourself, play it cool, stay safe, be proactive. However, people don't often follow these rules. Here are just a few examples. After reading the house rules and messages, I started to think maybe Tinder has created a whole new set of issues that is more prevalent than we ever could have thought. So I decided to ask an MSU student some questions about her experience with Tinder.
I was newly single, so I started to use Tinder to meet boys. My first ever Tinder date, we went to the movies, and he like picked me up, and it was like an actual date. And like sometimes they'll just be like, "Oh, like, do you want to come over and hang out, or do you care if I come to your place?" Some people will be like really forward and like off the bat be like, "We should hang out sometime." I'm always really on edge. Like I usually text my friends if I have like a guy coming over. So I'll give you a specific example. There was this guy and he was always like, "Oh, like we should like do like movie marathons together," and like he would not leave me alone. I kind of like told him like, "Can we just be friends?" And he was like, "Yeah," at first, and then like over time, he got like I don't really know the word for it. Like he just got like weird about the situation. I usually get warning signs like beforehand, so like I've been put in like uncomfortable like situations over like social media. Like the thing with Tinder catfishes is generally like you can tell like when it's not like especially if it's like a guy's profile page. If it sounds too good to be true, generally it is. Because like after you've been on Tinder a while, you kind of get a gist of like most guys aren't looking for like anything serious. So if you get like a guy that like his pictures are like perfect, he looks like great, and then like he lists like all these like qualifications, like if they say they have like a high paying job, generally like you got to be careful because they like are catfishing you and they're like using that profile to catfish people. Like they tend to get very serious about the things they talk about. Like it won't be like light discussion. Like they'll like immediately off the bat like be like, "Oh my god, like you're beautiful. Like I want to like do this and that for you." Then you can like that's usually how those pages go. I think a good rule of thumb, especially if you're using Tinder, is like know that like what the app is for. A lot of people don't use Tinder to find relationships. Um, so you just have to know like the demographic that you're gonna see on there. Like if you're using Tinder, most of the time you're looking to hook up with people. You're not looking for anything serious. And then that being said, like you have to understand like what type of guys that brings into the pool. Don't give out your social media right away because a lot of the guys that you'll see on Tinder will message you like, "Hey, you're really pretty. Like, do you have Snapchat?" And like, you shouldn't give them your Snapchat right away. Like, try to have a conversation with them first because like you don't know who you're giving your Snapchat to right away. If you're like in a situation where you're like, this sounds like too good to be true, like, I'm not saying like don't trust the person, but also like they're not a person at this point. Like you haven't seen them yet, so like you need to do like research, like cross reference images, like ask for different social medias, like to make sure that like this person is like actually legit. You have to be careful because sometimes like a lot of times like people say like, oh, like they're in college or something, and they like end up not being in college. A lot of them I try to meet in public first because like you don't really know who they are. Like they could be like lying about a lot of stuff on their profile. Also, like if you go on a Tinder date, it's always just a good rule of thumb to like not only tell like one friend, make sure like you have like two friends that have your location, like uh somebody is like seen this person like with you. So if something happens to you, like they're able to identify them.
Unfortunately, online dating is the way of the future. Not every Tinder date ends in a murder or a sexual assault, but people need to know it does happen. We need to continue to take precautions in order to protect ourselves and others. So next time you swipe right, I hope you think twice.